Hey, Damonte, how you doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing all right. Since you opted out of the season, what are just some of the areas you've just been trying to focus on getting ready for tomorrow?
It's really just my speed, getting in and out of routes, and stuff like that.
Evan?
Damonte, good seeing you, my man. How you doing?
You too. I'm good. You?
Good, good. So, if you could, when you decided to opt out, how difficult was the decision, and kind of what have you been up to, just kind of taking care of this time and getting ready for the NFL?
Opting out was definitely the hardest decision like that I made. Prior to college and stuff. But other than that, this was the hardest decision that I've made. Coming. Just getting myself, together to drive back to campus, what I'm saying? Just knowing I'm about to make that decision, that was tough. Leaving, knowing that I'm leaving a whole bunch of, friendship, relationship, even though it got to end at some point. However, I knew I had to cut it all short before, it was time to end that. So, that was really the most tough part leaving, because all the relationships, we didn't build. But I just looked at it on the bright side, that I'm going into a new station of my life. It's time, to elevate, go into another direction. You know what I'm saying? I was blessed to play all these years at the University of Memphis, and very humble and grateful for the opportunity they gave me to play here. And so, and from now until I opted out, I've been straight working out. It's been, grinding. From doing little mechanic stuff with my body, just figuring out how my body works, how it moves, to, sprints and, acceleration and cone drills.
Terry?
It was on the money. You doing all right?
Yes, sir. I'm good. You?
Hey, man, I know the hardest part of this process is probably the interviewing process. Has most of the teams you talk to given you a hard time by leaving early? And if not, what's the hardest question or most weirdest question you've got so far in your interview process?
Yeah, a lot of coaches, they ask, why you left, and what, your reasons and stuff like that for leaving. Everybody have their different reasons and whatnot, but it was I get the question a lot. It's not really hard because it wasn't like I didn't really feel like I left. I just knew I had to separate from something, from a situation that it just was time for me to move on. So I didn't really look at it like I left them boys, because they all know if it was up to me, I'd play all the games and next season games and next season games. I just love the school, what I'm saying? I love being around, so it was, like I said, it was tough. It was tough. That's all really.
Teresa?
How many teams have you talked with so far, and what kind of feedback are you hearing from them at this point?
I talked to a couple teams so far. They all give me the same, questions. They just really be wanting to know, how the process been going, and how opting out was, and how I feel about going into this process and whatnot.
Andre?
Hey, Damonte, what's going on? Andre Robinson, Challenger Community News.
How you doing?
Congratulations, my brother, on everything that you've done so far. Got more to do. So I did a little research too. On top of watching you, I did a little research, and a lot of people are saying that the scheme fit that's best for you is the spread offense type of scheme fit. But my question to you is, what is your forte as far as scheme fit?
I do enjoy spread, because of course that's more passes for me, but I don't anything, because I like the block too. So, and I really get my best excitement on plays is when I watch the running backs cutting off my block. So that's really as a receiver for me, that's really the most exciting thing, watching your back shoot off your block that you made. You know what I'm saying? Because that feeling you get missing the block is way different feeling than when you making that block. So like when that was your job and that play could have bust out because it was you. You know what I'm saying? When you seal that block, you feel like, it's basically like you scoring it too. So
you seem very excited. You seem very excited. Congratulations to you again on this pro day.
Appreciate it, man. I'm really excited.
Matthias?
Damonte, good evening. Mateus from Brazil. I also make a little research about you, and some of the scouts say that maybe your problem as a wide receiver is that you don't run so many routes. So how do you think that the pro day can help you to show them that you can do all on the field as a receiver? And because as a blocker, you already tell us that you really like to block and you know how to block.
Well, if they wanted to, if they want to see any route at pro day, I'm more than welcome to run any route. But I'll, I'll run the whole route tree. I don't really have like a favorite route. I love all them routes because any one of them you can get the ball on and just get open. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to see a route, I don't have no problem running any routes for them. I'm a big receiver, but I know how to. I feel like I'm good with my body, and that's what I feel like. When it comes to running routes, it's body control and being able to accelerate and decelerate. That's what I've been, trying to work on the most. So, yeah, sir,
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
appreciate it.
Evan, last question for Damonte.
Damonte, going back to what you said, you had said you had to leave a situation. How tough was it, when you were leaving before the UCF game? Obviously, that was a game you guys looked forward to, and when the team won that game, obviously it was huge. But just kind of, how tough was it, and were you kind of, did you kind of make up your mind that okay, I have to leave right away? Like, what kind of went through that? And then watching the UCF game, was that kind of like, I'm proud of my boys finally beating UCF?
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely proud that they beat UCF. I was watching that game when I was standing up the whole time. But that was a good game. I was, you said leaving up to the you said leading up to the me leaving or whatever you said.
Yeah, just more like leading up to it, like kind of how, did you know immediately you had to leave at the situation, or was it just kind of like,
It was more of, it was like daily by daily, I'm like thinking, well, maybe now, because I don't really try to like overwhelm myself with thinking a whole bunch of stuff because I still got, football, school, and dealing with, just life stuff. And I got to interact with teammates, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really have all that on my mental, while I'm at practice. But day by day, it was something that was coming up to me. Like it was brought, you know what I'm saying? So I had to, deal with the situation. So yeah, it was like a day by day thing. It wasn't just I up and was like, yeah, I'm stopping. But before the UCL game, that definitely was tough because I knew if I'd have kept playing, you know what I'm saying, it'd have been harder for me to leave. So it's like, you just got to cold turkey just stop. Because if I'd have kept going, I'd end up playing that game, then the next game, then the next game. It's just the love and the passion behind the game. It's hard to walk off from something like that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta stop.
Thanks for the time, Damonte.
No problem. Appreciate y'all for having me.